Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who rule well. A peace, love, faith, taste, and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. Back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Ratazah, this lesson is edifying. The inspiration of this lesson, comes from a double dream, that I had last night. Which it wasn't a very heavy dream, but what I find interesting, what's been happening lately, I've been having dreams with Hebrew incorporated in it, and this particular dream that I had last night, I saw, it was like I was looking at the blue letter and I saw a word, karai or karai, and then I woke up, because I have like this irritating cough that just won't go away, but it's like it's getting a little bit better, but after going back to sleep, I pretty much had the same dream, but this time, it was another brother that had seen the same thing, and he posted it to other brothers that he had seen that. But then I also seen within the dream, I seen like I kind of heard the song from the Commodore Zoom playing, and I saw a chariot. And when I woke up and finally got up, it was still in my mind, so I prayed to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, what could that possibly mean? And what I decided to do was to do a word search. And I went to Google and I typed in K-A-R-A, because that's the way that it appears in the dream. And I typed in Strong's definition. And guess what? It led me to, what is that right there? Salakia. It led me to a Strong's definition within what? The blue letter. And upon looking at that, clicking on it and going to the Strong's definition, it's spelled within the Hebrew, ka-ra-I. Ka-ra-I. All right? And when you look up, the Strong's info or the Strong's definition, now, although within the Paleo Hebrew, we pronounce it Kara-I, it's spelled K-A-R-A. All right? Within Esau's, the way that he puts up there to pronounce it, but we know the correct Hebrew. All right? And guess what? A is referenced within the scriptures. A is referenced within the scriptures 1,044 times. All right, so I found that interesting as well. But it means to bend the knee. All right, by implication, to sink, to prostrate, to bow. So I thought that maybe this could be a root word of Barak. All right, which the word Barak means to bless. All right, and really when you bless someone, you're kneeling down, or when someone is blessed. And I remember Apostle Tahar bringing this out. When you're blessed, that means that someone bows down to you. All right? So to bend, to kneel, to bow down, sink down to one's knees, kneel down to rest of animals, kneel in reference. So it simply just means to kneel. But I decided to also go and to look up, concordance results. And to see what particular scriptures will come up. And of course, they brought up Genesis 49:9, Numbers 24:9. All right. What's interesting with those two scriptures is right now, Judah, which is the head tribe of the children of Israel, they were stupid, they were couched down. But now Esau is getting them roused up. Numbers 24:9, is speaking about the nation of Israel, couching down as a lion and as a great lion. It says, who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and curseth he that curseth thee. Because the time is going to come when Israel is going to go through all of these nations, man. It tells you in Micah, I want to say that's the 5th chapter in the 11th verse, that Israel will be in the midst of the Gentiles, and they will go through them as a lion, go through the sheep. But then, upon scrolling down, I came across 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, in verse 18, and this is where it gets interesting. All right? Because from there, the Spirit led me to the place in the New Testament where that scripture was repeated. And it was repeated by Apostle Paul. And that's where I got the idea for this video. Which I may entitle it, The Elect Won't Bow to Baal. All right? And, you see what's going on. Upon waking up, I also, checked the group chat. And there was a brother that posted a video, of, I forget the individual's name, but it's Dr. something, because, people love those flattering titles of the world, right? And let me see if I can, Dr. Rashid, all right, and he's pretty much breaking down, something that's going on or that's going to go on within Canada in 2021. How that if anyone's on government assistance, they'll have to switch over to UBI, Universal Basic Income, that pretty much in order to, let me see, in order to live in that society, you pretty much have to give up all of your land, anything that you own, Let me see if I can play it a little bit. I'll start at the 35-minute mark, because that's what the ox said to start.
Secondary virus referred to as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection expected by February 2021. Daily new cases of COVID-21 hospitalizations and COVID-19 and COVID-21 related deaths will exceed medical facility capacities expected by by Q1, Q2 of 2021. Enhanced lockdown restrictions, referred to as third lockdown, will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including inter-province and intercity, expected by Q2 2021. Guys, understand that. That means that if you're in British Columbia, you can't go to Quebec. All right. This is what they're talking about. And if you're in one city and you're trying to go into another city in the same province, they're not going to allow you to do that. This is in Canada. Of course, they're going to try to roll this out.
And I'm going to just pause it right there, because that's part of the scriptures. And when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and beginning at the 17th verse, it says, "And man shall desire to go into the city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." So they're going to lock down these cities under martial law, and you won't be able to go from one city to another. You won't be able to visit a neighbor. You won't be able to visit a family member. And they're going to make these laws and these measures so strict to the point where they force people, to bow down to their image, all right, bow down to their system, which people being weak and not full of faith are going to do.
Get to that point here in a second. All right. Transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program, expected mid-Q2 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns in inventory storage, large economic instability, all expected late second quarter 2021.
So it say
military personnel into major metropolitan.
It says he spoke about the inventory. He spoke about large economic instability, which that's part of the scriptures as well, man. All right, because come 2021, there's gonna be famines. All right, that's on a large scale, unlike any other time that we have witnessed within our decade, man. All right, there's gonna be job losses. Businesses are gonna close. All right, all of these things are written down within the scriptures to forewarn us, man. All right, through prophecies. All right, this is what we're watching for, man. Hey, the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, the 12th chapter, and beginning at verse 3. Well, I started verse 3. Yeah, just hit the point. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened," which is the futures of this place, man. "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low." So the keepers of the house are trembling. Why? Because the economy is doing bad. All right. The word there for economy, the word in the Greek for economy, where the word economy comes from, it comes from the word economia or economos, all right, which means to be a steward, someone that watches over someone else's money, all right, someone that watches over the funds of the city. All right. So this place is getting ready to collapse. All right. The economy is getting ready to collapse. All right. The dollar bill, as you know, is going to be done away with. They're going to introduce the mark of the beast, which the mark of the beast is already here, but they're going to make it mandatory for everyone to get on that system. All right. And this is what Dr. Rashid is explaining within this video. All right. Food is going to become scarce. All right. Being able to work and having a job. All right. That's going to become scarce. There's going to be a lot of evictions. And they're saying that the COVID-19 will mutate and become COVID-21. So what they're going to do is force everyone to receive a vaccination. And if you don't receive that vaccine, all right, which eventually is going to be the RFID chip, if you don't receive it, then pretty much you will be taken, your property seized, and that you will be thrown into a quarantine facility, or a quarantine camp, or a concentration camp.
Storage, large economic instability, all
so large economic instability, that means the dollar felling, no more work for people. All right, for individuals that now, unless you take this man's RFID chip, or if you take his vaccination, then he said that you'll be able to go about, you'll be able to, continue your daily routine. You'll be able to shop. There will be no restrictions for you.
Second quarter 2021. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints.
Yeah,
restrict
because of their pride, the city shall be locked down. All right, and men shall be troubled. Because of their pride, the city shall be locked down. All right, they're going to use the military to enforce these measures, which means that this is a military state. Which means what? That this place is going to be under military control. All right, it's no longer, how can you say it, a democracy? All right, which this place has never been a democracy anyway, man. Let me play it.
Travel and movement provide logistical support to the area expected by third quarter 2021. Along with that provided roadmap, the Strategic Planning Committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor, one that would change the face of Canada and forever alter the lives of Canadians. All right, guys, this is where it gets really disturbing, as if it's not already disturbing. What we are told was that in order to offset what was essentially an economic collapse on an international scale, that the federal government was going to offer Canadians a total debt relief. So people are getting excited about that. That sounds good, but wait. This is how it works. The federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, all mortgages, all loans, all credit cards, etc., which all funding will be provided to Canada by the IMF under what will become known as the World Debt Reset Program. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. The individual would also have to agree to partake in the COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule, which will provide the individual with unrestricted travel and unrestricted living even under a full lockdown. So if you agree, you can go do anything you're doing as long as you partake in the COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule, regardless of the...
And what does that remind you of? That reminds you of, let's see. That reminds you of Luke, the 17th chapter. All right, because these are the people that have bowed down to the image of Baal, man. All right, these are the people that have bowed down to Esau's system, all right, to receive his mark, to receive his name and his number. All right, and have agreed to bow down unto him, man. All right, but the elect will not bow to the image of Baal. All right, that's what this video is going to be about, man. All right, this is the book of Luke. Let me see. This is Luke, the 17th chapter. And beginning at verse 23, it says, and they say unto you, see here, or see, I'm sorry, let me go down. Verse 25, it says, but first, all right, he must suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day Lot went out of Sodom and Gomorrah, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So there's going to be buying and selling that's going on. All right, people are going to be able to go back and to live their regular lives if they take the mark of the beast. All right, the RFID chip. Hey, that's the reason why it says in Revelations 13 and 16, it says, and he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you won't be able to go about your daily life, your daily routine, unless you worship the image of this beast, unless you receive his mark, unless you receive his name or his number, unless you receive that RFID chip or that brain implant. But if you receive that, you'll be able to go and to live your life. All right. But eventually, to what avail? Because what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? All right. Those that receive and consent unto him are going to be destroyed anyway. And it tells you that, which if Esau doesn't destroy you himself, all right, after he used you, all right, to cause others to go off, if he doesn't destroy you himself, guess what? You're going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. All right, 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, verse 69. And they that consented to them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. All right, for there shall be in every place and in the next city great insurrection upon them that fear Yahweh. Why? Because they know that we're going to be the ones that resist. We're going to be the ones that say, hell no, we're not taking your chip, man. All right, do whatever the hell you got to do unto us, man. All right, which they're going to try to threaten you by doing certain things into your family. Hell, your family may even take the chip, man. All right, that's the reason why the scripture says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And it also says that your enemy shall be they of your household. But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua could put a spirit on them to follow you, so that you can be delivered. And through them seeing you remain strong and remain faithful unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will be in the same spirit and vibration to fear Yahweh. All right, we're in those days where our power will lift up a standard for us, man. Will make a way for us to escape. All right, for those that have now bowed the knee to the image of Baal, man. All right, because I'm gonna that's it. I'm not gonna play any more of that, but I am gonna read. Let's see, 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, and beginning at verse 14. This is 1 Kings 19, and Salaki, I'll go up a little bit. I'll begin at verse 10. And this is what Elijah said. And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh power of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant and thrown down thine altars and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left. And they seek my life to take it away. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before Yahweh. And behold, Yahweh passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountain and break in pieces the rock before Yahweh. But Yahweh was not in the wind. And afterward, the wind, an earthquake, but Yahweh was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but Yahweh was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in the mantle and went out and stood in the entering of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh power of hosts, because of the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And Yahweh said unto him, go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, the son of Shaphat, of Baal Mahola, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escaped the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escaped the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees, which have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. Esau's nosy as hell, man. But anyways, that's the point. You know, the scriptures say, for I have left 7,000 that have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. All right, and even so now, there's an election according to grace, which will not bow down to Esau's image, which this system, they will not bow down to the image of the beast, but they're going to be faithful unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, even unto death if they have to. They're not going to receive Esau's mark. It's set up for them to get the victory through Yahushua. Romans 11 and 3. Well, I'll start at 2. It says, Yahweh have not cast away his people which he foreknew. Wot ye not what the scripture saith of Elijah? How he maketh intercession to Yahweh against Israel, saying, Yahweh, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So according to this time, there's an election, man. And the election, all right, isn't going to bow down, all right, to the image. Because when you go back to, all right, 1 Kings 19 and 14, the word there for bow is, guess what? Guess what word that is? All right, the word there is karai, which means to bow, which means to kneel. All right, they're not going to bless, all right, Esau, because ultimately, if you bow down and you take this man's chip, you're basically worshiping him as a god. All right, but we are commanded to serve Yahweh only, and we serve him through his son Yahweh Shai, man. All right, we bow down to Yahweh Shai, man. All right, ultimately to the worshiping of the Father. Hey, is it not written? All right, let's go to this scripture. All right, because this is another scripture that came up, but this one is in Isaiah, the 45th chapter, in verse 23. All right, this is who we bow down to, man. This is who we kneel to. We don't kneel to Esau. Esau isn't a god, although he's trying to make himself a god on the earth. And that's the reason why he's establishing this system. All right, to promote himself as a god, and also to try to cut off the children of Israel so that he can continue to dwell over the earth, man. All right, have his rulership over the earth. But you can't add 1 second to your rulership. All right, Yahweh Bashmi Shai is going to take your ass down. Isaiah 45 and 22. Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return. That unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say, in Yahweh have I righteousness and strength. Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. In Yahweh shall all the seed of Israel be justified, and shall glory. And when you look up that word for bow, the word there is karai. So that's who we're going to bow to, Yahweh, man. All right. And through his son, Yahweh Shai, man, we're bowing to him. We're worshiping him. All right. Let me go to this one as well. All right. Within the book of Philippians 2 and 9. All right. Because we serve Yahweh through serving his son, Yahweh Shai. Hey, this is Philippians 2 and beginning at verse 8. It says, and being found in fashion of men, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. All right, wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. All right, that at the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee shall bow. All right, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. And that every tongue shall confess Yahweh Shai is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. So we confess and we bow down to Yahweh Shai. All right, to the confession. Salakia, let me read that one more time. It says, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. So we bow down and we confess Yahweh Shai, and we worship Yahweh Shai to the glory of the Father, man. So that's who we bow down to. All right, you don't bow down to Esau Edom. All right, because at the end of the day, Esau Edom is offering you deliverance by way of the RFID chip, which is actually destruction. Because if you take that RFID chip, no matter what kind of hell he put on you, no matter how hard he make your life, no matter what he take from you, all right, no matter what kind of threats and angry, because Esau gets, when you read the scriptures, even going back to Mordecai, guess what word there is for bow when it says Mordecai did not bow unto Haman? All right, the Agagite, the word there is karai. So Esau got mad as hell, and he wanted to put Mordecai and the Jews to death because they didn't bow to him. When you go into the book of the Maccabees, because the Maccabees didn't leave themselves, the Israelites during that time didn't leave themselves uncircumcised and didn't take on those Greek customs and wouldn't eat pork and wouldn't bow down to their gods. What did those Greeks do unto them, which are Edomites? All right, they wanted to destroy them. So those things that are written aforetime was written for our learning. But we're not reflecting on the actual torture and the things that they went through, we're reflecting on the deliverance, man. All right, because that's what we expect. We expect deliverance, although Esau put all kind of hell on us for not bowing down to his image, for not receiving his mark. Because as you heard in the video, he's gonna try to cut off your money. He's gonna try to cut off your food. He's gonna try to cut off all of your support, man. All right, to get you to bow down and to worship him, man. All right, by receiving his mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. If you don't do that, he's gonna want to destroy you. But you have to remain faithful unto death. Because those that remain faithful unto death, they're gonna get that victory. All right, the victory's already written, you know, which I recommend you to go and read Daniel's 3rd chapter, all right, which speaks about a standard that was lifted up for those that put their trust in the Lord. All right, and how they were able to overcome. Now, in regards to having the dream the second time, because the first time I just saw, it was like the blue letter, you know? And it was like when you go to read the Strong's definition. And then the second time when I had the same dream, all right, I saw the blue letter, but then I saw an image of a chariot, and it reminded me, in the dream, it reminded me of the song Zoom from the Commodores. All right, and I believe I could have heard it playing in the background. But anyways, this scripture comes to mind, Revelation 15:1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. All right, for in them is filled, all right, filled up the wrath of Yahweh. So the 7 last plagues is thermonuclear destruction. Because everyone that consented to Esau and that receives his mark, you know, in order of trying to get delivered, and surviving, all right, they're going to be destroyed with thermonuclear destruction. Revelation 14 and 9, it says, and the 3rd angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, all right, in his image, all right, which means that you're bowing down to that image of Esau, Edom, all right, to receive his mark so that you can continue your life within this place. To hell with this place, man. Fuck Babylon. All right? And receive his mark in his hand, or in his hand, in his forehead, or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And the brother in the camp says indignation, you know. But indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image. All right. And whosoever received the mark of his name. So whosoever bow down and blesses the image of Esau, Edom. All right. Whoever bows down to the image of Baal, man.